Okay, in the country of Panem, there at least used to be 13 districts until the capital destroyed the 13th. But that's not what this is all about. It's about District 12, or more of a couple of the people in the district. They go by the names of Katniss Everdeen and Peeta Mellark. Peeta Mellark is the male tribute for the 74th annual Hunger Games. Um, he didn't volunteer for anybody, unlike Katniss, who volunteered for her sister. Because it was Prim's first year to have her name to be able to be drawn. I mean, this is her first time having her name in the bucket of names. How'd she get drawn of all people? Wouldn't you volunteer for your sibling?
After the reaping, Peeta and Katniss were allowed a brief moment with their families saying goodbye. That is, if they don't survive. They get 2 weeks in training at the capital. They get to make allies or face enemies. That is really when you can see who is strongest and who is weakest and get an idea of who your competitors are.
So, if you make allies, you're good. I mean, if you have allies, you're less likely to be higher up on the kill list. But Katniss and Peeta didn't know this, really. So they're actually kind of high on the kill list because everybody else has made allies. And so after these 2 weeks, when they head to the arena, they're pretty much screwed.
There's 60 seconds on the clock once they enter the arena. After those 60 seconds are up, they can either run to the cornucopia, where they'll have free weapons, food, and survival items, or they can run. Now, going to the cornucopia, right then and there, faces a big fact, and you might die that quickly. The games can go on for as long as they need to, and the Capitol can make things happen to other people without their say.
So it's pretty much either you go to the cornucopia and risk getting killed trying to get a weapon so you can defend yourself, or you run and risk getting killed later because you don't have a weapon. So either you take the risk then, you don't get a weapon at all, or you have to go back later, and even then, there might not be anything there at that point in time. And so what are you going to do if you don't have a weapon? I mean, anyway, that wasn't Katniss's mindset. So she just ran. She didn't plan on staying and taking that risk of getting killed right then and there for the games had even really started.
After Katniss is done running, she notices she hasn't seen Peeta at all. They weren't close when the 60 seconds were ticking. She notices that he's with the careers. The careers are the enemies. They're pretty low on the kill list.
The careers, now, they're the ones that really want to kill Katniss, because have you seen her with a bow? I mean, she's really talented when it comes to defending herself and survival. And so, pretty much, she has to wait it out in a tree and hope that, she doesn't get killed while she's up in that tree.
The careers notice she's there. That's when she saw Peeta. They try to get her down, but they can't. So she has to just wait it out. Then she notices a little girl, about 12, in another tree. She notices. She points to a nest, like a wasp nest, and she says, "Tracker Jackers." Katniss pulls out her knife and cuts that branch down so it lands perfectly on the careers, killing them. If you don't know what Tracker Jackers are, they're basically 3 times as venomous as a wasp.
And so you can imagine being stung by almost an entire nest of these things. I mean, in Katniss, when she was cutting down this branch, she got stung a couple times herself. And these tracker jackers cause you to lose your concentration and you start hallucinating, and then eventually you just kind of pass out or you die. And thank God Rue was there. That 12-year-old little girl, yeah, she helped Katniss. other than pointing out the tracker jackers, she helped her when she was passed out on the ground.
In the careers, right now, as far as we know, with Kato, Peta, and a few other members. Kato is the group leader. He's the most dangerous. Eventually, most of the careers die off, except for Peta and Kato. Eventually, Peta escapes the careers and finds Katniss.
And so when they finally find each other again, they team up. They haven't really teamed up at this point, but they kind of start talking and being like, hey, this is what we need to do to survive. And then they hear over, like, loudspeakers or something that if both members from a single district could survive, both of those people would be victors.
Before that point, there were only allowed to be one victor.
Pretty much. And so
they also receive an intercom saying that the surviving people can go to the cornucopia and pick up a survival pack. So Peta is hurt at that point. He says, Katniss, don't go. He doesn't want her to get killed. But she doesn't listen, and she keeps going.
And as she goes, there is people who tried to kill her. And by this time, that little girl, Rue, that she was with, she got killed. And it was really sad. And so she had, like, this little memorial kind of thing for her. She laid her down on the ground and spread wildflowers all around her and sang her a song until she was peacefully gone. And while she was going to get that backpack, the other member from her district saved her and said, this time, Katniss, or 12, this time, only because what you did for Rue.
Eventually he died too, which Katniss found pretty heartbreaking. But in that, Katniss got attacked by one person who was in the careers but went off on her own way. She almost got killed, but luckily that girl that was attacking her got killed. And so at that point, there was only about 3 people. Katniss, Peta, and Kato.
So it was 12 against Kato, and what were they supposed to do? Were they supposed to kill him? Like, really?
One of them couldn't even walk.
Yeah, Peta couldn't walk, okay? And so, they aren't comfortable with killing anyone anyway. So it's just like, we have to kill him to win? He's the only one here? Well, it doesn't matter, because they don't end up having to kill him. He gets killed off by these wolves that
the Capitol sent in.
Yes, the Capitol can generate, like, wild animals and stuff to torment the tributes in the arena.
At that point, when it was just Peta and Katniss, they received another announcement saying there shall only be one victor. And at that point, they didn't know what to do. So Katniss pulled out some berries. They looked like blueberries, but they definitely weren't. They were highly poisonous berries. She poured some in his hand and some in hers and said, one of us doesn't die. We both do. And find out more to read the next book or finish this one.